All right, let's talk about something fundamental. Have you ever stopped to think about what actually protects your bank account, your private messages, or even, I don't know, national secrets? Well, it all boils down to this one simple but incredibly powerful idea, the CIA Triad. And that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
First, we'll get on the same page with a formal definition of what computer security even is. Then I'll introduce you to the triad itself, and we'll dive deep into its 3 pillars. After that, we're going to look at what happens when things go wrong, because they do. And finally, we'll tie it all back to the tech you use every single day. Okay, let's dive right in. Before we can really get our heads around the triad, we need to have a solid understanding of what we mean when we say computer security. Now, this here is the official definition from NIST, a major U.S. standards agency. And honestly, you can think of this as the source code for all of cybersecurity. It might look a little wordy, but I want you to zoom in on those 3 words in bold: integrity, availability, and confidentiality. These 3 things, they're the whole reason information security even exists, and they are exactly what we're here to unpack. So how on earth are you supposed to remember those 3 core ideas? Well, that's where this beautifully simple model comes into play. It's an acronym that perfectly represents the 3 pillars of keeping information safe.
And there it is, the CIA Triad. C is for confidentiality, I is for integrity, and A is for availability. Now, they call it a triad for a reason. These 3 are totally interconnected. You can't just focus on one. For security pros, it's this constant, delicate balancing act to make sure all 3 are working together to protect a system.
All right, so let's really get into the weeds here. We're going to take apart each one of these pillars one by one to see what they actually mean in the real world. First up, we've got confidentiality. This is probably the one that pops into your head first when you hear cybersecurity. It's all about privacy, plain and simple. The goal here is just to keep secrets, well, secret. It's about making sure that nobody who isn't supposed to see your data can get their hands on it.
You know, a really good way to think about it is like sending a private letter to a friend. That message is meant for their eyes only, right? If someone else intercepts it and can read every word, poof, you've lost confidentiality. The whole point is making sure only the people involved in the conversation can actually understand it. And this right here perfectly shows the #1 tool we use for confidentiality, encryption. Look on the left, you've got a message anyone can read. Meet at noon, simple. But on the right, it's been scrambled into what looks like total nonsense. Without the secret key to unlock it, that message is just gibberish. The secret is safe.
Okay, on to our next pillar, integrity. This one is all about trust. How do you know, for sure, that the information you're looking at is the real deal, that it hasn't been changed or messed with behind the scenes? Well, that's the whole job of integrity, making sure that data has not been tampered with.
And really, it all comes down to this super simple but incredibly important rule. What is sent must equal what is received. If even one single bit gets flipped without permission, the integrity is gone. The data just can't be trusted anymore.
Let's make this super clear with an example. Imagine you're on your banking app and you hit send. But what if an attacker is sitting in the middle, watching that transaction? If there's a failure of integrity, they can swoop in and just change one little number. And just like that, your $1,000 transfer is now a $10,000 transfer. The data's integrity is broken, and you, my friend, have a very, very big problem.
Okay, so what good is a system that's super secret and super accurate if nobody can actually use it when they need to? That brings us to our 3rd and final pillar, availability. You see, security isn't just about locking things down. It's also about making sure the right people can get to their data and services reliably whenever they need to. Honestly, we depend on this every single second of the day, and we don't even think about it. You just expect Google to work. You hit google.com now, it works. You try again in an hour, it works. You just trust that the Google server will always be available. And that's the essence of availability, making sure a system can handle whatever comes at it and stay up and running for the people who are supposed to be using it.
So there you have it, our 3 pillars: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. But what are the stakes, really? What actually happens when one of these pillars crumbles?
Well, the impact of a breach is usually broken down into 3 levels. A low-impact breach is not great. Think minor harm, maybe a small financial loss. Medium is where it gets serious. We're talking significant damage. But a high-impact breach, That is an absolute catastrophe. It can be a complete disaster for a company or even an individual. All right, let's pull this out of the world of theory and see how it works in practice. I'm going to show you how the CIA Triad is in action all around you in services you probably use every single day.
And this is where it all really comes together. Let's start with confidentiality. Think about your encrypted banking info. That's what stops attackers from snooping on your financial data. Then you've got integrity. Imagine patient data from a heart monitor. That information has to be perfectly accurate, right? Because if it's altered even slightly, a doctor might make a decision that could be fatal. And finally, availability. Think about the services that let you log into your accounts. They have to be up and running. If they go down, you're literally locked out of your own digital life.
So look, if you only remember 3 things from all this, let it be these simple phrases. Confidentiality, keep it secret. Integrity, keep it accurate. And availability, keep it accessible. For the right people, of course. And that brings us to one last question for you to think about. Consider your own digital world for a second. Your photos, your private messages, your financial stuff. For the information that matters most to you, which part of this triad, confidentiality, integrity, or availability, is the one that's totally non-negotiable? Something to think about. Thanks for joining me.